you notice that I use a really small paintbrush, and all of my paintings, no matter how big my paintings are, I use this paintbrush, or one just about this size, just little tiny.
How come?
And well, when I was a little girl, I started painting from my little watercolor kit, and they had small paintbrushes, and that's how I learned to paint, and I've always been comfortable with small paintbrushes. So when I painted the paint on this teddy bear, I first painted the whole bear with white and gray. I put gray where all the shadow was going to be. I did that actually with a gray oil pastel when I drew it, and I had already painted the bear shape white, a real light coat of white. And then I painted a light shape, and then when the paint was wet, I went into it with my oil pastel to see where are the shadows. I was looking at a photograph of the bear, and I could see where it was dark and where it was light. Wherever it was dark, I drew it in, and then I went back into the painting with my little paintbrush, and I painted the gray that I drew. I painted over this stuff like this, once again with my small brush. And there was just something about the bear that it wasn't fluffy enough, and I wasn't quite sure how I was going to get it fluffy until I thought, you know what, I'll use a bigger brush. And so I got a bigger brush, and I squeezed out some big glob of paint, of white paint, on my palette, and I just started dabbing it and making it fluffy. Wherever there was white, there wasn't a lot of shadow, and that's how the bear came about. He's sweet, isn't he?
He's very sweet. Looks like he does look fluffy.
Yeah. But as a rule, I use this.
And where's this little girl from?
She lives here in Texas, and where I'm having a show, and I met her grandmother at my show, and I have a little painting in my show of my granddaughter Eloise. And when the woman saw the painting of Eloise Eyestone, she said, "Oh, I want my granddaughter to look like that. I want a painting of her." So her granddaughter happens to live locally, and I went over to her house with my camera and photographed her. I'm just starting these little pearls, and then I'll go back. Go back over here.
Very, very cute little girl. Very sweet, like innocent looking
She
face.
is sweet.
Was she about 8?
She's 7.
What's up there?
She's 7. And very lucky little girl. Everybody in her life, I think, is crazy about her. Anyway, so let me just get some. This is a little white seam by her dress, but you notice I don't put much. I don't put a lot of paint on my brush. I'm not into that. I'm into getting it on here and letting it dry a little bit, and then going back over it and putting more on. And
So are these the only paintings that you're working on right now? These?
well, they're all
6.
drawn, but this one I'm actually painting.
Okay.
And the other ones I've drawn so that when I get to New Mexico next month, I've got work ready to put up on my easel and paint, and I'm going to be doing lots of painting in public, because I'm going to be curator at La Posada Hotel and put their art collection together, and I'm going to be finding other artists who want to show their work there, who also would like to paint there. But until I have time to do that, to find the other artists, I'm going to be painting there myself.
So in the lobby of the hotel?
Yeah, or outside. It's so beautiful. There are lots. It's really a pretty big resort, and it's right by Canyon Road in town in Santa Fe. And so I want to have things that I've already thought through so that I can paint them. I don't have to sit there and come up with the plan and the sketch. I started to tell you though that I start on a little piece of paper drawing the sketches, planning out how it's gonna be on the canvas. I make little boxes the same shape as the canvas, and then I fill them in with these sketches. In this case, I'm not sure if I'm gonna put the chair behind her or not, or just wallpaper with flowers on it. And so I went ahead with her, and until I develop her completely, I've gotta paint her skin over and over so that it has a real luster to it, really. Once I get her almost finished, then I'm gonna go into the background and I'll paint a chair, or I'll paint the chair and wallpaper, however I've decided to finish her off. And once the background is completely done, then I'll go back and I'll finish her hair, and I'll finish her so it doesn't look like the background's painted right up to her. It's gonna look like she sat down in this environment. And but it's gonna be such a sweet painting, and it's gonna be in a real simple frame, and it'll be above her parents' fireplace.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be lovely. And you know, I was telling Megan Grace when I was photographing her, I said, someday this painting of you is going to be in your own grandchild's home. And she said, really? I said, yeah. I said, you're gonna be a grandmother someday, and that's where it's gonna end up. And I said, everybody's gonna want it. Everybody's gonna want it. You know, because it's you, and they're all gonna love you.
That's cute.
Isn't she sweet?